Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back, Six Man Blitz. And man, do we have a huge news slash emergency segment for you guys going Texas, Oklahoma joining the SEC. What should we look forward to in the SEC? What happened? What's happening to the Big 12? What does that mean for other conferences like the Big 10, ACC? What does that mean for Notre Dame? Man, let's just jump right into it. Oklahoma and Texas are joining the SEC. Everybody knows pretty much it's all about football. That's how college sports are run. Everything's football. Even though the biggest money maker in the NCAA is March Madness and college tournament, everything revolves around football. And with this new 12-team tournament, that the new 12-team playoff, I should say, that just opens the door for Texas, Oklahoma to join that SEC even more. So instead of going 11-1 every year, not playing anybody, they can go to a bigger conference like the SEC and then have better challenges, better bring in more money because this is everything what it's about.
Yeah, it's literally all about money.
All about money. Texas brings in the most money as a program in all college football, and Alabama was number two. And last year, SEC brought home $700 million. The Big 12 brought in 400. Now, Big 12 is a good basketball. Don't get me wrong. You know, Baylor, reigning national champions, all that Kansas blue blood, but it's just not a good football conference. And Texas thinks they're back. Texas thinks they're Texas from 2005, 2006 when Vince Young. And just like, what was your initial reaction when you saw this news?
I was a little shocked because it's going to be interesting to see like Oklahoma, like who puts up these big numbers playing SEC where there's defense. The defense is out of its mind. You have out of every mock draft that happens, you have like 10 of them, and they'd be like three defensive players from the SEC. So it's really going to be interesting to see. And this Oklahoma, like their offense, the type of offense they play, it's really hard to match up against. So it's really, if they go to the SEC, these SEC teams are going to have to prepare for a new offense that they haven't seen.
That's what I was agreeing with you. I agree with you right there because then the playoff is totally different. They get
Yeah.
4 weeks to prepare. It's totally different. But when you see Lincoln Riley on a 1 week basis, think about this: when Johnny Manziel and Texas A&M first joined SEC, they beat Saban. It was under center. It was fullback and running back. They never saw all the spread option before. Never saw five receivers. Johnny came in, changed that. Totally different. And that's what Oklahoma's going to do. Oklahoma's going to put up some huge points in the
Huge
SEC.
numbers.
First year, you know, the depth second year would be a totally different game. But year one, I definitely see Oklahoma going crazy. But Texas is just, I think this is good for Texas hiring the Shark, hiring Steve Sarkisian is definitely good. But I think this expands the recruiting market too. You know, you can go in states like Florida, Georgia, Alabama and say, you know, your kid's going to play here once a year, maybe even twice a year or
Yeah.
once every other year, you know? So I think that just makes it better for Texas going forward.
But how well do you think Texas will be able to compete in the SEC?
That's what
That's
I'm
the one
saying.
thing I'm thinking. Like, I don't.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because when they, you know, someone was talking about Texas's home schedule in the past before, you know, it's been Kansas, Kansas State, you know, Baylor, Texas Tech, and then they'd go play Oklahoma at a Dallas in the Cotton Bowl. So it's just, you know, I don't know. I don't even know if they're going to be average. I think it's going to be a rough first year, but you know, it also depends on when is this going to take place, and
Yeah.
when is this going to take place? You know, like they can be 3 years in, 4 years in, or you know, when is this going to happen? 2025. You know, I've heard that before. I think it's just interesting to see. I think this changes college football forever. This,
Dude,
and that's why I think this 12-team playoff did too.
because you see already teams like Texas and Oklahoma are like, we want out of the Big 12. And then you already see TCU, Oklahoma State, they're like, yeah, we do too. They trying to go to the Pac 12. It's just like, what's going to be left of the Big 12?
And Kansas is trying to go to the Big Ten, and Big Ten is like bring it in. You know,
Yeah.
Ryan Day, Jim Harbaugh. You know, bring in Kansas because they don't care about Kansas football right now. You know, Lance Leipold's coming in, changing it from the MAC, but it's like they're bringing in that basketball revenue. You know, basketball. That's Kansas is a blue blood, and Michigan's coming back. They're gonna be good. Ohio State, Michigan State, so they're getting some good basketball schools. But you bring in Kansas, this would be good.
that, that would be really the best conference for basketball,
Exactly.
hands down.
Exactly. And you know, And with the dismantle of the Big 12, that's the only argument, Big 10, Big 12. But I was, you brought up Oklahoma TCU, or Oklahoma State TCU, I should say, going to the Pac-12. West Virginia is probably going to go to the ACC, like where they should be. They just don't fit with the Big 12.
No,
Like they don't at all. But you know that I just want to see where Texas Tech, Baylor, like where do they go? There's nowhere for them to go.
Yeah, I heard some people say that Texas would be better as like a Notre Dame, like an independent kind of thing.
Now, yeah, I just think that's done. I think with this playoff now, I think you have to get a conference. We'll talk about Notre Dame in a second, but I see Notre Dame joining the conference, and okay, so let's go Pac-12. I mean, Oregon State, TCU, but this is the thing though. I don't see smaller schools like from the G5 going up and joining the Pac-12. So I don't see Boise State, BYU doing that. Maybe BYU because they can stand on their own. They're independent. They have their fan base is crazy. They sell out all the games or whatnot. But I don't see Boise State jumping. They don't bring in that money. Pac-12 is trying to bring more revenue. 16 teams. They swung and missed with Utah and Colorado. That's not a big money maker,
No.
But that made sense geographically. But now it doesn't matter about geographically anymore. It literally doesn't matter. If you have Kansas in the Big Ten, that does literally from Chicago, you can drive down to Mizzou 6 hours. And they're SEC. But if you drive to Kansas, that's 9 hours. They're in the Big Ten. How does that make? And then if you drive to Rutgers, that's 11 hours. But there's a school right by Chicago, Mizzou, that isn't in it. And then even Kentucky, they're like 5 hours away from Chicago, and that's SEC.
That doesn't make sense at all either.
I think it's also interesting to see, does Maryland lead the Big Ten going ACC? Do they bring back that rivalry, But I think West Virginia is a huge get for the ACC. And then, let's bring up Notre Dame. Notre Dame has to join a conference here.
Which conference do you think they would do the best in?
In the best, ACC. But I don't care about the best. I want to see them go to the Big Ten. I want to see them play Ohio State. I want to see them play Michigan again, Michigan State again. I want to see all that. I want to see Big Ten where they should be all this time.
Yeah.
You don't want to go to the ACC? Like, come on. I don't want to.
That's Clemson versus whoever is left. That's really.
I don't want to see Notre Dame NC State game at 11 a.m. on Saturday on NBC. I just simply don't want to see it. I don't want to see Notre Dame Louisville on my TV at 11 a.m. on Channel 5. So that's just how it is. But it's looking to be like 4 big conferences because 12-team playoff, there's 4 byes. So if you win one of those big-time conferences, you get an automatic bye. I think that makes the most sense.
Yeah. Now, what do you think about that 12-team thing? Are you on the same point with Dabo? Like how he said, there's not 12 teams good enough to be in a playoff.
I didn't think there were, but having Texas or Oklahoma to the SEC, there should be like 5 to 7 teams in the SEC every year in the playoff. Now think about it, because there's gonna be a 3-loss. Okay, I'm throwing it out there. Say Georgia loses 3 games. Say they got a tough schedule. They play, let's just say Alabama, Florida, A&M. All 3 of those are losses, right? They could still make it in the in the playoff and beat a 1-loss Wisconsin team. It's literally, it's just how it is. And they're talking the SEC, instead of 2 divisions and 8 conferences and 8 teams, they're talking about 4 divisions with 4 teams in it.
Damn.
So one of the divisions would be like Texas, Oklahoma, Texas A&M, and Arkansas. So it would be something like that. That'd be an insane conference.
Yeah, I would.
Just feel sorry for Arkansas, but it literally has to be done. Like, it has to be done. And I think this is the end of the G5s. Well, not the end, but the G5s are on their way down. It's not looking good for the G5s. It's not looking good for the Kansas States of the world. Bro, the Pac-12 does not want Kansas State, bro.
No. Kansas State.
Pac-12 would rather ask. They got 12 teams right now, 16. Most conferences are looking for 16. They're grabbing Oklahoma State, grabbing TCU. Definitely TCU. Remember TCU, Andy Dalton playing in the Rose Bowl? Definitely grabbing.
Trevon Boykin? Those days when they were like top 4 team?
definitely grab TCU. And then do you grab Texas Tech Baylor? I think those are I think those are the four teams, the four best teams that make sense for that Pac-12, and I just see Kansas State getting left out. Honestly,
Yeah. I mean,
Yep.
Kansas State hasn't been relevant in years
I'm
since
saying,
they had that one.
yeah, Colin Klein, or yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah, it's just I think this is a great move for college football. This is the reason college football is the best. Year in, year out. You expect the unexpected, like Big Brother.
Hey.
It's just crazy to think about. College football is definitely back. I love this move, but it's all a money move though. At first, I didn't like it. I was like, man, what the? But then you think about it more. Think about these SEC games on Saturday. They're gonna start at 11. They're gonna go to then 3, then 7. And you're gonna want to watch all of them. An 11 o'clock
Yeah.
kick is gonna be, let's say, Texas versus LSU. Then the 3 o'clock games, that'd be Florida, Georgia. And then the 7 p.m. game is going to be Alabama, A&M. Like, bro, those 3 games, you want to watch all 3 of those games?
But that's how it usually is with SEC. If the game's on CBS, you're gonna watch it.
That's
no
how
matter
it
who's
is,
playing.
but I'm not going to watch the Alabama, Mississippi State. But now I might want to watch it. I might want to watch Texas, Mississippi. Or, when Oklahoma plays Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin doesn't play defense. Lincoln Riley doesn't play defense. That game is going to be electric, bro. I want that game circled on my calendar immediately. Ole Miss, Oklahoma, man. Definitely put that on my plate. Definitely put that. But yeah, the Big Ten, adding Kansas, Notre Dame, ACC adding West Virginia, and I don't even know who else is out there, honestly. Like, maybe they grab a Maryland, maybe a Rutgers.
Yeah, I think Maryland and Rutgers, they should get out the Big Ten.
Maybe they add Cincinnati. I know I was saying G5 can't go up. Cincinnati, UCF, like UCF's fan base is insane, man.
Yeah, they are.
Maybe they add Baylor, because Baylor's on the. Maybe they add one of the schools on the Gulf Coast. That's right there. That can literally be ACC. There's so many things that can do. When at first I saw the Kansas Big Ten thing, I'm like, man, get the hell out of here. Then I started thinking, basketball, ooh. And that's what nobody's really talking about. Everyone keeps talking about football, no basketball. That just shows you college football runs everything.
Yeah.
Because, Oklahoma basketball is good. Texas basketball is going to be really good this year, one of the best teams in the country. SEC basketball has not been that good. It's just been run through by Kentucky and Calipari, but Arkansas is being good. Alabama's starting to be good. Florida.
Yeah, Alabama got better.
Yeah, bringing Oklahoma, Texas, 2 good teams, man, I think this is a great move all around, bro.
And just comes back to more money. SEC's going to make more money. Big Ten's going to make more money. All these, the rich are going to get richer.
The rich are going to get richer, and it's going to be 4 big-time conferences.
Yeah.
That's all you got, though?
Yeah.
All right, man. That's all we got for you guys. Make sure to subscribe to 6 Man Blitz on YouTube. We also have a podcast, 6 Man Blitz, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Make sure to go follow us on that. Check us out. We're going to be doing college football breakdowns team by team. We're going to do the Big Ten West, maybe hit up the SEC, now Oklahoma, Texas, you know what I'm saying? So, the whole thing's crazy, man. But, yeah, that's all we got. So stay tuned and make sure to follow us on all the things.